How's it going, everybody? Today we are jumping back in Scum and we are going to take a look at the second Into the Wild update, and the main focus of this update is wildlife. We should see a lot more animals roaming around the map now in the woods or in small towns. For example, here every purple line that we can see marks where they spawned. It does seem like the spawns aren't as crazy as they were on the alpha branch. So on the alpha branch we had like tons and tons of animals spawning around us, but now on the stable branch, it seems like we don't have as many. I think I've seen one to our left here. Let me see, where's that purple line? I just saw it a second ago. We should be in the woods here somewhere. I'm curious to see what kind of animals spawned here. So we are kind of in the forest, right? So let's see, what are we going to find? I'm guessing a boar. Here we go, let's see. We have a deer, actually. Check it out right there. Alright. Nice. But yeah, it seems like we don't have as many as we did on the alpha branch. I actually see one more over there. So in our vicinity here, one there, and there's probably more around here, but not as many as we had on the alpha branch, which is good because on the alpha branch we had tons and tons of them running around. So I think this is good. Just one here, one there. Not too many, but not too few either. I was curious to see what kind of animals spawned around us in the woods, because animal spawns are biome based now, and we do actually have a nice map over at the grotto showing us where different animals can spawn. So for example, we saw a deer in the woods earlier, and it can spawn in the mountains, in the woods, and then it can also spawn in continental meadows, which is kind of the middle-ish area of the map. But if we are looking for a different kind of animal, like a chicken, it will spawn in the blue areas, which are the Mediterranean areas. So the animals will now spawn in a specific place around the map, or in a couple of different specific places, depending on the animals that we are looking for. For example, the deer can spawn in a couple of different places, but the chicken cannot. Kind of, more or less. I mean, it is a big area that it can spawn in, but we can't find it in the snow. It seems like we can only find chickens around the Mediterranean area, which is like the left side and bottom side of the map, more or less. There have been quite a few different changes when it comes to the wildlife, and most of them we're not really gonna notice right off the bat. For example, the time of day will influence how they spawn in. They have this thing called a behavior tree now. So the animal AI uses this Unreal Behavior Tree framework, and from what I'm gathering, this framework will improve how the animals, react to us and how they move about in the world. But the update has brought some other things to the video game as well besides the wildlife improvements. For example, we now have some new improvised cooking recipes. And check it out, these right here are the new improvised cooking recipes. We have the improvised pasta, for which we are going to need some water and then some pasta, of course, and then we have a bunch of optional ingredients down here. Then we have the improvised rice dish. And for this we need some rice and then some water, and again, these are all the other optional ingredients. We have zombie. The heck? Why did that zombie come for me? I was just chilling there looking at the recipes. What the heck? Where were we? Improvised soup right here. We need some vegetables, any type of vegetable, and then some water if we want to make it. And then of course we have the optional ingredients down here: meat, salt, pepper, oil and whatnot. And then lastly, we have the improvised stew. And for the stew, we need water, and then we also need some meat. So we have 4 new recipes. I can't quite speak or count at the moment. It is so incredibly hot. Like, we have this massive heat wave across Europe, and today has been especially hot, and I'm feeling it, man. I am feeling it. I can't think straight. Oh, all right. Putting aside the heat wave and the fact that I cannot think, the update also brought a new craftable item to the video game. So right down here we have a tombstone, and we can craft it with a stone and then a tool, and it looks like we can plant it anywhere we want, in the road or in the woods. And I think we're gonna be able to write on it as well. So let me see here. We can change the text on it, so we can We can change the text, alright. Yeah, check it out. I'm guessing players will do this whenever they're gonna raid the base or whenever they're gonna take out another player. They're just gonna plant one of these down since we only need a tool and a rock to, to make one. We're gonna see a lot of these around the island, that's for sure. The heck? Okay. Now we can also pick up a limited time quest from the grotto, and this quest will reward us with the Iron Paw Carbon Hunter variation. Alright, so the quest is called Journey of a Master Hunter, and it looks like our objective is to find a couple of diary pages. It says here that I've heard that one of the last true masters left pages of his diary at hunting stands around the island. So if we manage to find all of these diary pages, we are going to get 2000 cash money, 50 fame points, and then a skin for the Carbon Hunter. Now, as soon as we pick up the quest, the hunting stands will be marked on our map, and the first one is going to be in sector D3, and as soon as we pick up the note, we are actually going to get another objective related to the note, and this happens for most of the notes, and the first note will want us to gather some guts, and then we have to turn in the guts over at the grotto. There will be a box there, and we can put in the quest items in there. The second tower will be down in sector Z1, and this note will want us to take down 2 boars with a bow or a crossbow. The third tower will be in sector D1, and for this one we are going to have to go up against a couple of wolves. And then the last note will be down in sector A1, and for this note we don't have another objective. All we have to do after reading this note is turn in the quest and get our rewards. Alright, now that we've completed the quest, we should be able to turn the Carbon Hunter into the Iron Paw Carbon Hunter. So what we need a toolbox, and then we can right click on the weapon here, we can go down to examine, and right over here we should have the other variation. So we can select it and then craft. And let's see here, what does this thing look like? Wait, it kind of turned into the other version of the hunter. It's not like a carbon hunter anymore, it's just like the wooden version, but it's got some things kind of engraved. Let me see here. Yeah, check it out. It kind of turned into the normal version of the hunter, but it's got a bunch of engravings on it. On the front here, on the back, and I think on the other side as well. We have a bear, and then... what does that say there? Fortuna favet for... Tibius? What does that mean? Fortune favors the bold or something like that. Now these were the major additions that this update brought to the video game. There are some other things as well that we are going to check out some other time. Like there's like 2 new DLCs and a couple of other things. I think there's a scout pack and an archer pack, but I just can't do it anymore. It is so incredibly hot in my room right now. My computer turned the room into a sauna. I am sweating like you can't even believe it, but I'm gonna have to get out of here. I am way too hot. I cannot think and I cannot speak. So thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I hope you have enjoyed, and, you know, drop some stuff and things down below, and I will see you in the next one.